So good evening, everyone. My name is Ferenc Kaldenecker. I think all of you, 90% of you knows already. So as I said just earlier, today this presentation is going to take like 45 minutes. It's more like a first impression presentation than the official like MarsVerse presentation because we just get back from KL, from Malaysia, from the office, and we would like to share the impression what we had over there, like seeing the office, seeing all the backgrounds of the project, seeing like how they put all the details, all the fine tuning, all the small important elements together to make it sustainable for long term. And this is, I think, is more important to have all the details shared today because the presentations are like transparent. After this call, we can send it to you over and you can read it like one by one. And in the next upcoming days, we're going to have like longer presentation where you can understand each and every element, how it comes together. So let's start like that. I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if you can see it.
Mhm. Super.
All right. Can you see it?
Yes. Yes.
Good. M3 DAO. Let's start with the first word of DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. So it's really important. By end of today, you will understand what is DAO exactly means and why it's important to have the DAO. And of course, you can read it here. It's a layer 2 open source chain, which is also a really important sentence because as of right now, it's like the technology is like far away. So to produce a layer 2 chain is not as important. It's a kind of open source solution. So you can do a copy paste. So each and every people on the Web3 industry can do it. But how we do it is going to be more important than that to have a copy paste open source solution on layer 2, basically. So what is M3 exactly and why is M3? Because it contains like three elements like MarsVerse, Mars chain, and Mars protocol. You can see it on the slides like MarsVerse, basically a avatar, a metaverse, and a Mars colonization. Of course, it's a nice story like we gathering people together to heading to the Mars. It can be a nice story. Everybody makes smile. But what is behind basically and what is avatar? Just to explain it to you on a simple way, what is an avatar? It's a kind of like off-chain NFT. That's why we call it as an avatar. So Mars chain, it's more like a technological solution. Like as I said before, it contains also a layer 2 chain. Uh, Later on, it will be adding on a layer 3, database. I will explain that one later. But this part, I really want you to understand deeply because this brings us the real value of the whole project. And DID is a decentralized identity proofing, so infrastructure supporting ecology. But let's stick a word with DID. So basically, as you know, the technology is much further ahead. It's so many fake accounts created all over the world. Like you can have like 20 Instagram, you can have like hundreds of Facebook account. Like I got like a couple of Gmail account as well. So, and these database still really valuable. Based on our research, like one data costs $600 a year for companies. So basically, what happening on the market, like people and companies putting database together and selling it for another companies, and all the data is cost money. But can you imagine when you have a database and you don't know how many person is the real behind it, and they still purchasing it and still buy it? And due to this market, they're using a lot of AI and robots just to create database and sell it over. And this is creating a kind of like fake accounts and a huge bubble on the market in terms of database. So when you use a technology which call it like a face ID, for example, because can be many different technology to identify it, but the face ID is the much easier because whoever has the phone within the hand, they can just use the face ID to log in anywhere. But as of right now, the Face ID data is stored in your phone, not on the server. So basically, when you're buying a new phone, the data has to be transferred from one phone to another phone. Then you have again the Face ID running. So the whole idea is here to create a layer 2 chain, and top of the layer 2 chain, create another chain, which is gonna be a layer 3 chain, where we're gonna creating a huge, large database, DID database, and store the data. And why is important? Because by using the DID, you is you. You cannot have like 10 multiple accounts. You cannot have like 10 of you, because you is you. It eliminates all the bubble in terms of the database on the market, which means like if you have like 1 million people with like Facebook accounts, like Gmail accounts, addresses, and all this, you don't know how many is real, or you have 1 million people with a real DID, which has, I think, a lot more value. I cannot tell you like it's like 5 times more or 10 times more, but you can feel, I think, the difference between. So by creating a chain, a layer 2 chain, I will explain this later, what is the purpose of this chain. And top of this chain, we put in the database, the DID database, it's give access for each and every partner who launch to the layer 2 chain. But when I'm saying give access, only if you authorize it, because your privacy is your privacy. Your data is your data. Currently on the market, like people selling your data and making profit out of your data. And in this case, in a Web3 industry, the most purpose of the Web3, to have you and all your data and all your belongings or your privacy, it belongs to you. So this is like other way around. So you have the value of your data, and you can create profit out of your data instead of letting companies using your data and selling it. So this is the main idea. And basically the MarsVerse, the avatar part, it's a tool to reach out a lot of people, attract the people to generate in a short period of time a large database for us, because as soon as we have more data, more value, then we can make more profit. And through this presentation, I will show you how this ecosystem comes together. And of course, we have the Mars protocol. The Mars protocol is a Web3 project backing an incubation platform like Mars Labs and digital asset management. So this is where the profit generated. This is where, like we can create different source of income for MarsVerse. Okay, let's have a look the first phase. So, oops. Okay. So the first phase, it's the avatar trading. So basically the first phase is actually started, but 13th of June within, I think it's tomorrow, like Dubai midnight, it start a 60 days period. And during this 60 days period, and after a 90 days period, and after another 90 days period, and then it comes by the end of 30 days. So altogether, like 60, 90, 90. So it's 6 months, 8 months, 9 months together. This is what we called phase one. And because it's the DAO, each of every stage, end of the stage, there is a voting protocol where the community can vote. Either we do this or we do that. So basically, this is comes the decentralization area. So the first ways we start the first 60 days, you will understand, hopefully, end of the presentation, why we split it like this in each stages. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is still a story, like establishing a community of Mars colonization. It's like sounds really good, but basically the avatar part of it, it's attracting people. And let me show you what I mean by attracting people, because the avatar generates reward. And I think I got this slide here. Yeah. I'm sorry, just skipping a lot of slide because it's too much information to digest it as a first. So we have different MarsVerse avatar. Members can purchase like avatars starting like 100 USDT up to like a 10,000 USDT. Each of every avatar producing we called Marsher materials. It's like a simple way like which has the energy output. And the energy output is basically daily 0.5 between 2%. It's always fluctuate due to the company income. And also each and every avatar has the energy output. You can see like 100 avatar, you have 5 times. So basically when it reached the 500 exit value, in this word call it energy output limit, 500, then it stop producing more. Or the 1,000 or avatar or a 500 has the 3.5 times exit value energy output, and the 5,000 has 4 times energy output, and 10K has 5 times energy output. This kind of important how this part comes together, because you purchase an avatar. Every day you have the energy output between 0.5 to 2% on the daily basis. And out of this one, let me go to this slide. Let me find it quickly. Yeah, it's here. It's here. Okay. 50% of this energy output, it's so-called Martian materials, MM. 30% is an unknown Martian materials, which is a UME in the future. And 20% is a Martian capsule. So let me talk to you first about the 20%, okay? And the rest, the attraction part and all this comes later. Because if you understand the 20%, why is there, and why I mentioned the layer 2 chain, and why I mentioned the database in the beginning, and if you understand the whole global picture in the beginning, I think then you open up more easily to understand why we need to attract the people in the first stage. So basically, as I said in the beginning, we're creating a large database, a decentralized database. And how we do that? People purchasing avatar and they get rewarded. And of course, if you're getting like 0.5 up to 2% on the daily basis, and 50% out of it is a Marshall materials, and actually the MM can be swapped to USDT. So basically 50%, we can say it like this. It's USDT, what you can take it out from the system, like even every day, if you like to. This is really an attraction for the people to participate. So this is only a tool in the first stage to attract people and gather a large community together. And basically the 20% output of it is a MC. MC, it's like a reward point. You can use it for our merchant platforms, our partners. You can use it for travel purchases. You can use it for buying like clothes, like whatever. So, for example, right now, I'm not mentioning on this call the name for our new and first partner, but this partner owns like over 150 big brands intellectual properties. They purchased it. They have also like a FIFA intellectual properties. They have also like a Lamborghini, BMW, Alibaba. So you can spend these merchant points or reward coins through that merchant platform. And now listen carefully. This merchant points actually backed up with real USDT. So we have a pool by creating a large database, people joining, purchasing the avatar, and they collecting the reward, the MC, in a large pool. So we have a large pool of USDT, for example. On the other side, we have a large DID, like real people. So, and here comes the picture together. When we go out of the market, and I truly believe we don't really have to go out of the market, the partners will come to us, because whoever has some merchant idea like buying their or selling their products, what they need? They need buyers, they need community. Everybody on the world need community to sell their products. And we have a large community, like real people, and the real people also have money. And this is what we can show our partners. And here comes the real value of the whole concept of MarsVerse, especially on the beginning, how we creating the community and how we creating value out of the community and how we make it sure our community has fund to spend it on the merchant platform. And of course, if I'm a merchant platform and I want to sell my products and I see the numbers like, wow, so you have community and the community has money and the money has to be spent on my platform because that's the only way, because to take it out, it's pretty attractive. And what I do as a merchant for the company, of course, I give margin for the company. Like, let's say I give 30%. So this is where the company also makes the money. But this is not happening on the first day. Maybe it's happening like a couple of weeks later. So I'm just explaining a couple of sources of income, how M3 generates it. I hope you understand. And now we can step into the and also the unknown Martian materials. What is it exactly? So the Martian materials, you can exchange it USDT, or you can also exchange it in any other valuable tokens. And it all depends. For example, if you change it for USDT, maybe you have a value, you have the fee between 5 to 20%. Maybe if you change it to major tokens like BTC, Solana, you have a fee between like 5 to 10%. If you change it, for example, for another avatar, maybe you have a fee 0. So that's the reason why it's not written USDT directly there, because the can be swapped and can be changed for different things. And in the future, we're going to have like NFTs coming from partners. We're going to have like not the tokens coming from partners, what we are incubating. And the can be swapped and exchanged to new tokens as well. So I'm not saying it's a kind of like stable coin, but in another words, you can call it like that. It's more like a point as of right now. But I just want to give you a better understanding why is there and not USDT, because the swapping ratio can be different. It depends what you're changing it for. But mainly the people who getting excited about the MarsVerse project, I believe, especially as of right now, they want to change it for USDT, because this is like, I purchased the avatar. I'm receiving between 0.5 up to like 2% on a daily basis, and 50% out of it, I can change it to USDT and withdraw it. Yeah, it's a pretty attractive. This is the plan. It's a tool in the beginning, in the first 8-9 months, to attract the people and have large community. And I have to say it, especially now in the beginning, you know, This avatar session, these avatar stages, it cannot sustain forever. It's not gonna run forever. Please keep it in your mind. So we have like 8-9 months period of time to use this opportunity before it comes to the second stage. And if I go back to the slide here, yeah, if I go back to the slide here, the second phase, it's where we're gonna list our token. The idea behind it, during the 8-9 months, the whole distribution of the token, like 90% out of it, will be distributed for the people who owns the avatar. And how it will be distributed, it's a different story, because in this case, oh, my dogs went crazy. Hey, sorry. So in this case, we have the tokenomics, only 2.1 million token available. And out of the 2.1 million token, 90% will be distributed during this. Hey, ladies, menjetek. They didn't see me for like a week and they going crazy. They just sticking next to me, the three dogs. Sorry about that, but this is a living with animals. So basically, this is what you need to understand also, and the potential, what I show you in the other chart. Here. UME. What is UME? Unknown Martial Materials. And what is good for? It's good for to swap it for our token, which called MCD. So the reward, what you're getting out from the avatar, 50% MM, 30% UME, 20% MC. We already discussed the purpose of the MC. I hope you're getting the picture. We already discussed the 50% of the MM. You can swap it to USDT right in the beginning and withdraw it. No problem. And 30% UME can be swapped for our MCD. But how? It's a different story. Because during the first 60 days period, whatever UME you collect and your downline and all the organization collects, it comes to the pool, and 20% of our 20% of our MCD token, which is 420,000 pieces, will be split equally by the UME holders. So whoever collects more UME in the first 60 days, getting more MCD token out of it. And basically, if you do the math, and if you're familiar a little bit with the cryptocurrency algorithms, like all the algorithm works similar, like let's stick with Bitcoin a little bit. In the early stages, it's like Bitcoin exists like 12 years now. In the early stages, during one day, you collect like 100 Bitcoins. But how much you can collect now? Like 0.000 something. So exponentially decrease. I'm not going to go in deep why and how, because it's not important at the moment. But the logic behind exponentially decrease, and you can look at it, the first 8-9 months period, it's like 12 years Bitcoin time squeeze together into 9 months. So basically, the first 60 days, you can collect the most MCD. Then comes another 90 days period when, with the same methodology, they distributing 30% of the token. But why are you going to receive like 5 times less or 3 times less or maybe 10 times less? It depends on the numbers. Why? Because we start building the community. Maybe the first month we're going to have like 5,000 people, 10,000 people, around that. In the second month, we're going to have like 15,000 people, 25,000 people, depending. And another 90 months period, maybe we're going to have like a 300,000 people. You can see it's like almost like 5 or 10 times more. And we have a certain, hey, so we have a certain amount of token, what they gonna distribute. Okay, just give me one sec. Lányok, légy szíves. Hey, légy szíves. Köszi. Please. Thank you. Okay. So basically, the 90 days when we have like 300,000 member, it's like 10 times more than in the first 60 days. And we have the amount of token like 30%. In this case, you can only receive like 8 times less, 5 times less, 10 times less. That's why I'm saying how they put together this mathematical model. It's a similar like a Bitcoin, but what Bitcoin did in 12 years squeezed together in 9 months. So this is the whole idea to collecting the UME. I'm not going into more deep to the tokenomic part, but just one more thoughts. Only 2.1 million token distributed like 1 million DID holders, just to make an average calculation, like 90% distributed, which is 1.89 million to 1 million people. It's like average 1.89 token per person. Of course, maybe whoever on this call, you can have maybe 100, and whoever on the call in the next 2 months, 3 months, they can have maybe 20 collected. I'm just playing with the numbers. And let me ask you, Bern, a question. If you can collect like a 20 token or 100 token, and our listing price is like $1, would you sell your 20 token on the price of one?
No,
After
absolutely.
after putting effort, work, time, everything here for like I don't know how many months? Of course not. Because
No,
why would you? Would you sell it for a price of 50 or 100 to get like 1,000 or 2,000 out of it? 6 months working here? Not so beneficial, huh? No. So
no.
with a low amount and with a high distribution numbers, and combined together with our listing strategy, because the listing strategy will be after the 9 months to list the token at least 20 major exchanges starting Binance, creating a huge hype, buying demand, and also through our platform. And here comes everything together. We have our own chain development, layer 2. And as you know, if you're familiar with the cryptocurrency field, each and every blockchain has a fee, and we pay the fee through our token. We pay everything, the transaction, the gas fee, and everything based on our token because it's our own chain development. Like we have a partners selling NFT, we have a partner selling merchant something like a t-shirt or whatever, and you want to buy it through authorization, the DID, each and every transaction, even now you're using like a BSC chain, you want to do any kind of authorization, you have to pay fee, maybe 0.001 or 1 cent, small fee. But we're creating a large transaction, and during this large transaction, it's creating a lot of fee together. So it's creating value and more value for our token. So that means it's so easy, and maybe I say differently, it's much easier using this kind of strategy to have the price bring it up like 1,000 times or 5,000 times in the near future. Then we have a large amount of token and we use a different strategy. I hope you're getting to I hope you're getting to my point. So basically, as you can see, the potential during this half an hour what I was explaining. But it's only fair to see the potential and see what is your risk, because we are here on the crypto field. And as you know, on the crypto field, high risk, high return. So don't forget one thing: cryptocurrency is very high risk. You can even lose your fund. So please do your own research all the time, and your decision is your responsibility. Okay? So what is your risk basically? You purchasing your avatar, this is your risk amount. You putting your effort and time and work, this is your risk. And I already explained the potential, but this is fair to share both parties in this presentation to make understanding what is going on. But we have on-chain development, we have a unique technology, future technology. It's gonna be a future trend, the DID technology, using like everywhere you go on the airport, they're using the retina scan, right? Everywhere you go, they're using the Face ID. It doesn't mean you have to give out your private data. Doesn't mean the data is stored on the blockchain. You just authorize it through your wallet. It's connected with your wallet. So if you want to access for a merchant platform, it's get the data, you authorize it through your wallet, get the access, either is a payment or buying something or get access into it. It works like this. And with a large number of DID together, with a fund behind, attracting more and more partners, come and join to our layer 2 chain. This layer 2 chain, actually, it's a DMS, decentralized merchant system, where each and every people can bring merchant to the platform, and just bringing merchant also getting percentage out of it. So, but I just don't want to, I don't want to be too complicated on this presentation. I'm just sharing the impression and the first experience, what we experienced there, because we were in Kuala Lumpur just in the last couple of days to see the office, see the management, and only thing is missing out of this picture, and I really wanted to share it with you. And maybe I'm not using slides anymore because it's not really important at the moment. I can send the slides over to you. Like when it comes to the part you purchasing an avatar producing 0.5 up to like 2% on daily basis, and 50% you can take it out in USDT. The first question, my first question, and of course, like 99% of people, first question, where the money coming from, right? How they can ensure it's sustainable for long term and the payout can be last long term. So the first answer, there is limitation on the input side, and there is limitation also on the output side. This is very important. It's always control on it. So one DID cannot have like more than 10 avatar continuously running in the same time, for example. One DID cannot purchase more than one avatar a day. All the avatars has maximum energy output limit, which is if you reach the maximum, that avatar is not producing anymore. And as I said earlier, but I just want to repeat over and over, this avatar session, this avatar stages will end one day. And then we're transforming in between to the stage 2, where the token listing, the partners who are coming to the layer 2 chain, and all the venture capital and all the new NFT parts taking place and replacing the avatar. So you can calculate from the day one what's going to happen. You can calculate which stage comes after. So it's no sudden changes. You can calculate the whole procedure. And this is very important to understand. And just to finish the part where the money coming from, from day one, we have a fund managed. It's called it a Mars venture. So basically, there is a department driven by a talented gentleman called GC coming from the Binance and crypto world industry, has a lot of connection and doing like investment, like short term, middle term, long term investment. Of course, in the beginning, we only interested about the short term one because we already started. So that means the payout is already going. And he's the one and his team who are taking care since the beginning. We managing enough fund and we are producing enough profit for the payouts. And as you see, the payouts is always fluctuating due to the company and the corporate income. That's why it's not a ROI business, and please not to sell and recruit anybody as an opportunity as a ROI, because it's not. Okay, the profit is fluctuate. We have profit generators in the system. I just already mentioned 3 4 profit generators which we have as of right now. It will be a lot more coming. And of course, we can incubate project. We can have them listing their tokens. Like if somebody has a good idea, come to us. They need a technical background to be tokenized. They need technical background connection to list their token on several exchanges. Of course, this is another fee. This is another source of income, how we making and collaborating with different parties. I hope it makes sense. And please contact the people who invited to you here. And if you want more details and more sharing, we send you all the PDFs and everything. And tomorrow and after tomorrow, we're going to have everyday Zoom calls. So that was my sharing today. So thank you very much to being on this call, and see every one of you tomorrow. Thank you so much.